Hello, cheapskaters. Welcome. Welcome back to my channel and my kitchen. If you're new here, I'd like to give you a big warm welcome and say thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Kath Armstrong and I am the creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing. And we do. And if you're visiting again, I'm really glad you made it too and happy you could join me. It's nice to get together with old friends. It is Tuesday, the 27th of August, 2024, and this is a YouTube live event. Now, I'm going to jump right in because this is going to take a bit of time tonight because we are cooking a roast. After all, this is a gluten roast that we will be cooking, and in our house we call it mock lamb. And it reminds me a bit of a rolled roast, a rolled shoulder or similar, rolled flat where you'd have it, spread it with stuffing, roll it up, and then you'll cook it. My mum used to make this quite a lot, and we really enjoyed it. Mine is not as good as hers. I will tell you that it is good hot or cold, and it is actually a vegan meal. There you go. It's meatless. Oh, no, hang on. It's not going to be a vegan meal tonight. Sorry, guys. It will be vegetarian tonight. I'm adding an egg. I'll explain why when I get to that stage. But honestly, it's really tasty, reasonably easy to make. Actually, it's very easy to make. And it is much cheaper than a lamb roast. So let me get to where I am. And we'll see how I'm going, won't we? Let me just do some, sorry guys, I just need to do some, nope. Here, I need to do, okay. That is much, much better. Now I'll be able to see the comments without having to squint. Okay. Now I'm going to flip you down so you can see what I'm doing, but it is pretty simple and straightforward. I'm using my food processor because I have it. If you don't have a food processor, use a bowl and a whisk or a bowl and a fork. Okay. Let me just tip you down slowly because I can, and let's get cracking. Okay, now let's see. Does that look reasonably good? Think so? Okay. Let me bring over my food processor. Tip it up a bit so you can see it. That would be better, wouldn't it? There we go. I can't take it any further because that's as long as the cord is, but I need to turn it on. Into the bowl of the food processor, I am going to put 2 cups of gluten flour. This is my gluten flour. I buy it in 5 kilo lots because it's cheaper. Works out to about $5 a kilo. And I go through a lot of gluten flour. So let's go 1 cup. Now 2 cups. Okay, this is the basis of our mock lamb. This will be, put the lid back on that because if I don't, I will spill it. Okay, all right. Okay, I will crack 1 egg. I like to check the eggs before I tip them into anything I am making, just to make sure. There's nothing worse than finding an off egg. I am putting the egg in. I don't normally, but I'm putting the egg in because I don't have any nutritional yeast. I am out of that. I am going to put in a sprinkle of garlic powder. Just a little bit. I'm putting in rosemary. I'm just putting in rosemary sprigs. These are some that they'll get chopped up in the food processor. Regular flour does have gluten in it, Chris. Gluten flour is just that. That is the gluten part, the protein part taken out of your regular white flour. So gluten is protein. It's the protein part of your flour. And I've got a little bit of chopped onion. Garlic, onion, rosemary. All right. I need 2 cups of water. So I'll be back in a second. There we go, 2 cups of water. And into that, I am just going to put, I've got sunflower oil. I'm just going to put a blob. Okay. Okay, turn it on. It's going to make a noise. I'm going to make a noise for a little while. You don't need to do this very long. I'm going to check it because it needs to be sort of doughy. Okay. I need a bit more flour in there, but not much. Maybe a spoonful, just to make it a bit more. I want it to be a dough so that it will stretch. Okay. Where's my container? Just a little bit more. That's just a dessert spoon. Maybe a dessert spoon and a half. We'll see how that goes. Okay, more noise. Can you see how it's let me see if I can move you around. Can you see how it's coming together in the bowl? Let me try it. And almost there, maybe a little bit more. Like all doughs, the weather plays a part in how much fluid you need to add to them. All right, let's try one more time. Yes. Can you see how it holds its shape if I pull it out? It's like a dough. That's what I want. My hands are clean. I washed them just before I came on too, in case anyone's worried. Okay, I am going to let that rest for a few minutes while we get the rest of the recipe ready. Now, let me go up so I can see you. Is that better? Yes. Okay. Yes, Fiona, it is. Just like what seitan. Well, seitan is just another word for gluten. It's yeah. Okay. I buy it. Fiona wants to know where I buy it from. Okay, in 5 kilo lots. I buy it from wherever I can find it the cheapest online. It might be Two Brothers Foods. It might be Hindustan. It might be the Full Pantry. Wherever I can find it is where it's cheapest is where I buy it from. I am not brand loyal when it comes to groceries, as you all know. I look for the cheapest price for what I want, and that's who gets my business. Okay. Rosemary is great in a roast, RJ, and because we're doing a mock lamb, it goes really well. Okay. Right. Now, I'm using my electric fry pan. Unplug the food processor because we don't need any more. You can do this in the oven if you want to. I'm using my electric fry pan because that's what I have. It's cheaper to run than the oven, and it works just as well. I'm letting the dough rest. Okay, it's going to rest for a few minutes before I do the stretching. Into my electric fry pan, which I am about to turn on, I'm going to put 2 litres of water. No, I'm going to put 1.5 litres of water to start with, because this cooks in its own broth in a gravy, and that's what we're going to make next. Take the lid off. Right, this is the fun part because we need to flavour or season the gravy, the broth. So I use chopped onion, and I'm using up this dehydrated chopped onion. And I will put in some more rosemary. Because I can. And some garlic. And I've got some vegeta here. I'm eyeballing it. I've done this so many times, I just eyeball it. And a big blob of Vegemite. And do I have a spoon? Yes. And a big blob of Vegemite. That is quite a big blob of Vegemite. And let that warm up and make a gravy. It's easy. Can I lick my finger because it's got Vegemite on it? I will wash my hand. Yum. There we go, all washed up. Okay, now whisk that round to get the Vegemite started to melt to make the gravy. Right, next step is to make the filling, because I'm going to roll this and make it like a stuffed shoulder or a rolled roast. So in this bowl, can you see? I'll tip it down a bit so you can see. Makes it easier for you guys, doesn't it? There we go. In this bowl, fresh breadcrumbs. I made them this afternoon from bread that we've had at the weekend. I've added rosemary and garlic. I'm going to add an egg to bind it. I'll crack that egg like so. Pick it up, pour it in, and this is the seasoning for the inside of your mock lamb roast. When you're making a broth, you can put whatever you like in it, really, whatever flavors you think work. I know there are people who just use soy sauce or who might use Vegemite and peanut butter in their broth. Don't knock it till you tried it. It's really good. Okay, so there's that. We'll get rid of these eggshells. They can go out to the garden. Get rid of that. Dash in a minute. Cats can go away. Finished with that. Just tidying up as I go so I don't get in the muddle. Okay, gluten has been resting. I've got a little bit of flour here. I'm going to put out on my I can't see it. Pop you down again. There we go. On my mat. And there we go. Tip it out. See how it's just a big doughy clump? I'm going to knead it for a few minutes. Just knead it like you would bread dough. Roll it over and knead it. Roll it over and knead it. Gluten is tough. It likes to be kneaded, which is why I do it in the food processor. You can use a fork or a whisk to make the dough if you want to. I use my food processor because it kneads it as it makes it, brings it all together. Okay, now let me shape it into a reasonably even-sized log. A bit like making a sausage roll. So it's about 30 centimeters long. I'm going to press it out. I'm going to make it nice, spread it out without breaking it if we can. Press it out. Now, if you wanted to, you could break off chunks like this and you could flatten them into patties like that. And you could drop those into your broth and cook them and they would be fine. I want to do the rolled up thing, so I'm going to press it out. Squash in any holes that you might find in your dough. Okay, we've got 84 people watching. How cool is that? Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I'm tending to think I forgot to leave the Facebook post up tonight, did I? It's probably about a ½ centimetre thick, about 5 mil thick, not quite 1/4 of an inch. Press it out nice and flat. You can be rough with it. It doesn't mind it if you're rough. Okay. Spread your seasoning all over it. Like so, just down the centre. I don't put it too close to the ends because I want to roll it up. Yes. And yes, I've been generous with the seasoning. Right. Let me check the broth. Vegemite. The aim with your broth is to have it come up about halfway up the side of your roast when you get it into the broth. I'm just going to roll it up like you would a Swiss roll or a cinnamon scroll. Down a bit. Just roll it up. Be a bit gentle because I'm trying to not put holes in it. If you do, stick them back together. And oh, there we go. That one's a bit thin, so we'll stick it like that. That whole area is going to be a pain, isn't it? Okay. It does not look appetizing like this. It looks revolting like this. But it tastes amazing when it's cooked. Okay, it goes into the broth. I'm going to take the pan over, take the tray over to the pan, and I'll slide it in. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll tip you up so you can see what I'm doing. Everybody see? Yes, cool. Love my silpats. Steam side down to start in the broth. The broth comes about halfway up the loaf or the log of your roast. Lid goes on. Have it so that it's at a bit of a simmer. Set your timer for 30 minutes. And that's the first part done. How easy was that? And it didn't even take long. Even with my talking, 22 minutes. That's with me faffing around and talking. So that's not too bad, I wouldn't think. Okay. That's it. It cooks for 30 minutes in the broth. Then I flip it, let it cook for another 30 minutes. Then I take the lid off, and it could be 20 to 30 minutes. I turn the heat down so it's just at a simmer. 20 to 30 minutes, lets the broth thicken up. So we've got a gravy to serve with it, and it is done. I will show you in a little while. Okay, so have my trusty soup ladle here so that I can baste it. Treat it like you would a regular roast and baste it. Let me get rid of these and wash my hands. I will be right back. All right, now drink of water, and I'll get a stool. My back is still mucking up. So standing for any length of time is a right royal nightmare. Okay. And it is simmering away. Chris, do it in your oven. If you don't have an electric fry pan, I would do it in the oven because you want it to be just at a simmer. If you do it on the stove, you're going to have to stand there and watch it. You can do it in a fry pan or a baking dish on the stove, but you will need to stand there and watch it to make sure that it's always has enough broth. It's not going to burn. It doesn't boil over or whatever. So I would suggest the oven if you don't have an electric fry pan. Okay. I'd like to say it's years of practice, but you know what? the one I did this afternoon, because I did a trial run this afternoon to make sure everything worked, and it rolled up. But when I picked it up to put it into the fry pan, I just sort of used my cake spatula, you know, the flat blade, and the egg lifter, and it went in the middle and landed everywhere, which was starting from scratch. So it wasn't quite so nice, but thank you. The price of gluten flour is like the price of anything. It is going to depend on where you are, where you shop, how much you buy, whether you're ordering online, whether you're going to pick it up, whether you're getting it from in-store. There are so many variables. So I can say $5 a kilo because that's what I paid, but it could be 6, 7, 8 for someone else. It's really hard to give a price. And because I can buy in bulk, and I'm happy to buy in bulk because we use so much of it, often I will get free postage, free delivery. So I don't factor in delivery into that cost. There's a lot of variables when it comes to costing out recipes, and people ask all the time, where do you get such and such? And I tell them, they go, well, I can't get that here because, well, I don't know the shops where you live. You need to do your own research. I say that all the time. I haven't said it for a couple of weeks, but do your own research. And even when it comes to grocery prices, do your own research. It's just too hard. But even at $8 a kilo, you'll get a few meals out of it. And like I said, gluten is a protein. It's excellent. It's very good. If you are not gluten sensitive or gluten intolerant or allergic to gluten, it's really good to have and to use in your kitchen. Okay. Can you hear it bubbling away there? Oh, why won't that go up? All right, let me scroll to the top. And we'll say, Delaney's still in hospital. We're so glad you could join us. I wasn't expecting you to join us tonight. Well, not to. I thought you might watch, but anyway, hope you're feeling better. Hi, Joy. Hi, Kelly. Hello, Utah. Hi, Cheryl. Mock chicken. There's a few different mock chickens around. I made mock chicken last weekend. Thomas was in heaven, but I did the bread one. You can do a gluten-based mock chicken, which is really nice. You can do a cooked one that's sort of more like a more quiche type, that sort of custardy type filling. You can do one that's a roast. There's all sorts of different recipes for mock chicken around. We use a lot of, I love the mock chicken sandwich filling, the one with the egg and the tomato and the herbs, and you cook it up on the stove and spread it on bread. It's just delicious. Yes, there's mock fish paste. It's it needs basting. Give me a minute. I can hear it. Smell-o-vision. It smells really nice in here. Gosh, rosemary, fresh rosemary from the garden is just delicious, isn't it? I don't know that I put the mock fish paste recipe in the recipe file, but I have to go through my book. I'm a much better vegetarian cook than I am meat cook. Much, much better. Do much better with vegetarian meals. There are lots of mock fish recipes, mock whitebait in the vegetarian file too. Just depends what you like. Okay. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Catnaps. Hello, Leonie. Hello, Michelle. Penny and Kylie, I've spoken to. Hello, Lisa. Nice to see you. Hi, Kerry. Nice to see you too. And Sandra. Hello, Aradia. Hi, Annabelle. Okay. All right, let me go. Scrolling down. Right. Hello, Yvonne. Glad you made it. Oh my gosh, I was bringing the washing in this afternoon because it got really black, really black. I had to put it light on to see. And I thought, I better go and bring the washing in. I was outside and I was like this, trying to get the clothes off the clothesline. The wind was fierce. I thought we were going to lose the roof, the fence, the shed. Oy, it was shocking. They say it's going to be worse between midnight and 3 a.m. and then from about 11 a.m. tomorrow. But tomorrow it's going to be wet too. I shouldn't complain because we really need some rain, don't we? We haven't had much. Chris, you can buy a gluten flour in the health food aisle at the supermarket, or any health food store will have gluten flour. They will only sell small packets probably unless you get a health food store that has the bulk bins. If you've not used it before, start with 500 grams. Go back through the recipe file. There are lots of recipes I've put in the vegetarian recipe file that are gluten-based, and I have done a video for my schnitzels because I do mock schnitzels, mock veal schnitzels that are gluten-based. And they're really good too. Very tasty, very inexpensive, and they freeze, which is always a bonus, I think. Okay, patience rules. Hi, Barbara. Thank you for saying hello. We've still got 95 people watching, guys. Okay. So one of the reasons I like mock lamb or mock chicken or mock fish or any of those meals is they are really inexpensive. Really inexpensive. This one was a little bit fiddly to put together, but it doesn't usually take me, 22 minutes to do it, to get it into the pan. Once it's in the frying pan or the oven, it's just a matter of, like you would with any roast, baste it and turn it. When it's done, it's done. It's easy. So with this one, because you can do it, if you do it in the frying pan or in a baking dish, a bigger baking dish in your oven, for the last half hour, put your veggies, parboil your veggies or nuke them. Put your veggies, your potato, sweet potato, pumpkin, onion, broccoli, cauliflower, whatever you would normally roast, turnips, swedes, parsnips, whatever you would normally have for a roast in your veggies, pop those around it in the gravy, and it turns out like a pot roast. You know how you do a pot roast with all the veggies, and it's just delicious, and it makes its own gravy. So it's sort of like a one pot meal, really. It's really good. Could pre-do the broth. Yes, you can do it in your slow cooker. It will take longer and you'll have to remember to turn it still in your slow cooker, but it's fine. Just the thing will be making sure that the broth doesn't evaporate too much. It really needs to stay about halfway up the sides of the roast so that it will absorb the flavors, but so it cooks it and makes it tender, because otherwise it might be a bit tough. That's why I added the egg, and I can't remember whether I did that. I added the egg, I did say, because I didn't have nutritional yeast and I wasn't going to run down to the shop just to buy it for today. So instead I put an egg in. The nutritional yeast is actually nicer. It gives a bit of a better flavour to it, but an egg works too. And that's more just to keep it tender, keep the lamb or the gluten tender. Joy's saying thumbs up, people. Thank you, Joy. And Barbara's saying, Lacey dog is very well. She had a bit of a panic attack on, must have been, what day is it today? Tuesday, Sunday night. We had a massive thunderstorm here. Hannah had a big thunderstorm at her house, and she said it sounded like the thunder broke right over her house because everything shook. And the poor dog, who normally doesn't mind storms don't seem to bother her, she got very upset with that one. But we think because it was right over her and she would have felt it as well as heard it. Yeah, otherwise she's fine. Well, can you find substitutes? If one of them is gluten flour, I don't have a substitute for that. You can't make it with wheat flour. It doesn't work. But you could try find substitutes if you can. It is a bit of a pain, isn't it? Australia Post. You sort of feel like you want to say to them, like, back the truck up, guys. Australia Post, not Australia buy your toys while you're waiting in line to pay your bills. Australia Post. Concentrate on post, letters, parcels. Do what you're supposed to do and do it properly. Maybe you wouldn't be in such a mess. Sorry. Bit of a sore point around here because they just keep closing post offices. Mock whitebait is actually what the Kiwis call mock fish. It's and if any Kiwis on have got the Edmonds cookery book, it's in the Edmonds cookery book, mock whitebait. Yeah, no eyes. It's actually really nice. It's a great recipe. That's funny. Hello, Steph. What are bran sticks, Eve? I don't even know what bran sticks are. Can anyone help Eve? I don't know what bran sticks are. Hi, Jan. Yeah, if you can blitz it to make it like all bran, you can do a roast with all bran and cottage cheese and eggs and onion and whatever seasonings you choose to flavor it with. Shape it into a loaf and roast it. That's delicious and quite healthy. And actually, I know it sounds weird, if you soak the all bran with boiling water, much like we do with TVP, boiling water or stock, it's up to you, and then beat in some cottage cheese and some eggs, pepper, Vegemite, peanut butter. That combination works in our rice patties, goes really well and stuff like that. It's an odd combination, but it tastes really good if you can have peanuts. Yeah, that works too. Now what can I do? There we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, you could try it in the slow cooker. Can't say I've done it in the slow cooker because I'm usually too impatient. because it smells really good while it's cooking. It smells like a roast while it's cooking. And when I have fresh garlic from the garden and use that instead of my dried garlic, it is so good. Yes, you can do a mock cheese sauce with nutritional yeast. I haven't put the mock lamb roast in the recipe file yet, Chris. I will do it probably first thing tomorrow morning. It will be in the vegetarian file. Hello, Leslie. Well, you know, my mum was a cook. My mum cooked. My aunties cooked. My great aunties cooked. I had no choice. And I taught my kids the same. All our kids were brought up cooking and preserving, and they know what to do and how to do it. They just occasionally choose not to. Oh, I'll let Hannah know. I never thought of Rescue Remedy, and I use it all the time, especially the sleep one. Okay. Oh, Beverly, yes. Pretty much if it can be cooked in the oven, it can be cooked in your electric fry pan. Now, if you are fortunate enough to have one of the high dome lid fry pans, much like the really old Sunbeams were, they were sort of squarish with that really high domed lid, then yes, you can cook just about anything in it. You can cook a cake in your electric fry pan. You need to put a rack in it and put the cake tin in on the rack, and that's why you need the higher dome so the cake can rise. But yeah, anything. Pretty much if you can cook it in your oven, you can cook it in your electric fry pan. For years and years and years, pretty much, oh gosh, till about 10 years ago, I guess. And I don't know why I stopped. I used to do everything in the electric fry pan. Hardly ever used our oven. You can do apple pies, you can do quiche, toasted sandwiches, pancakes. Not so good for baking things like sausage rolls and pies because the condensation on the lid can drop down sometimes and make the pastry a bit soft, but other things it's perfect. No, just about anything. Great for casseroles. If you've got one with a thermostat on it that tells you the temperature, you can set the temperature to 180 or 160 or whatever. You can use it like your slow cooker for your casseroles. Yeah, no, if you've got an electric fry pan and you just use it for frying, do some research. Google it. See what you can find, but you can cook just about anything in your electric fry pan. A very handy dandy little, not so little utensils if you have them. Not utensils, appliances if you have them. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Coralie. Okay. Beverly's got the old-fashioned one. Then you can do like big roasts in yours. Perfect. Every time I'm in an op shop, I'm looking for one of the old stainless ones with the high dome lid. I don't care if it's 60 years old, as long as it works, I want it. Because that high dome lid is just amazing. Much better on electricity. Much better on electricity. Easier to clean. Don't have to scrub the racks. Yes, RJ, using your electric fry pan does save on electricity. Beverly's fry pan's about 40 years old. Yeah. We got one as a wedding present, and it was brilliant. It was a Black and Decker, and it had it was programmable, so I could set it to cook and then program it for however long, and then put it on the keep warm, so that if I wasn't home in time, it was brilliant. I used it like a slow cooker quite a lot. It was really, really good. Yep, Sunbeam stainless steel, and it is a treasure. Hang on to it. They're really hard to find, Beverly. That's just amazing. Wow, Delaney, that's amazing too. I was going to ask if you could do a live on what you consider kitchen essential, baking equipment, appliances. I could do that. I might shock you though. I'm not a gadget person, and everything I have, I use. When we renovated the kitchen, I went through all the cupboards and things, and I got rid of, I passed on quite a few things. Hannah was able to take, I had 2 hand mixers, or she took a hand mixer and things like that. I don't have a lot of appliances. I have my food processor and my mixer that get used all the time. Now, and they're out most of the time too, because if I put them away, I don't use them. Out of sight, out of mind. So they're out. The bread maker gets used every week. Same deal. If I put it away, it doesn't get used. But other things like the coffee grinder, I do use it to grind coffee, but usually just to grind herbs or chop nuts. It's easy to get to. What else do I have? Appliance-wise. Oh, the pie maker and the sandwich press we use a lot. And, of course, my slow cookers I use all the time. And the pressure cooker. Yep. Otherwise, there's not a lot, but I could do that. I thought I'd done one with basics, but I can do that again. And I don't have a lot of tools and things either. Most of them are in the container at the stove here. Smells really good. Most of them are at the stove there. So the dehydrators and the canner. I think that might be about it. I have lots of cake tins and baking trays, but they all get used. So it's a very expensive what? I don't get the Thermomix at all. And they said, well, you can do sauces. Well, you know what? I can do a sauce just as quickly in the microwave, or I can do it in a pot on the stove. I can do gravies. I can make crumbs in my food processor. I can mix cake batters in my food processor. I can do white sauces in my food processor. It's a very expensive what? No, it's a bit like my pressure cooker is I've had it for years. I've had it way before Instapots came out, but it's sort of like an early version Instapot. And it steams and slow cooks and has a soup button and whatever else on it. And when we were buying it, the lady was going, oh, well, now, and you can cook rice in it because it's got a rice cooker and you can steam your veggies, but you can't. You can cook rice in it. Then you've got to keep the rice warm while you steam the veggies, then keep the veggies and the rice warm while you cook your stew. You can't do all those things at once in it. It might be a 5-in-1 multi-cooker or whatever they call it, but you can still only do one thing at a time. So anyway, that's our 30 minutes. Hannah has mine was Black & Decker. No, mine was Breville. Jane. Mum bought it for us for an engagement present, a Breville food processor, and Hannah's using it now. Okay, that was my 30 minutes. I have to do the flipping over of the roast. I didn't get them out, did I? Trying to decide which way I'm going to flip it. That way. Okie dokie. So I don't lose it. I'm going to go this way. Well, okay. Easy peasy. Cut it in half. And I'm just going to add a little bit more water because the broth's getting down. Lid. There we go. Timer for 30 minutes. All right. And that's pretty much all I do. 30 minutes will be up. I'll take the lid off and turn it down to a very low simmer, and it will just sort of brown up on top. The gravy will thicken up and it will be ready to serve. I won't make you wait that long. I think Thermomix, if you are someone who doesn't do a lot of bulk cooking, if you are someone who was never taught to cook using basic tools, basic kitchen utensils like a grater and a sharp knife and, you know, wooden spoons and whisks and egg beaters, I can see the attraction. But I would still struggle. I think even if we had $1 million to spare, I would still struggle with the cost for what it does. So there we go. That's the roast. Now, I will show you what I cooked this afternoon, what's left of it, so you know what it's going to look like on your plate. Let me move everything out of the way, and I will drop it down to you. And there we go. There we go. See how it browns up? It has a sort of a nice crusty bit. I like to slice it quite thinly, and you can see the layers of the seasoning, the stuffing in between it. I didn't put gravy on this so I could show you what it looked like, but it's delicious. It's really good hot. It's really good cold. It will freeze. If you let it get really cold and have a very sharp knife or an electric knife, you can slice it really thinly and use it for sandwiches. It's just really handy to have, and it's very inexpensive. This roast here, this one I'm just cooking now, probably costs no more than $2. $2. It's very inexpensive. Very, very inexpensive. So it goes really well. Now, the best part about this is once you've got the basic gluten roast down, which is the 2 cups of flour, the 2 cups of water, an egg or your nutritional yeast, and then your flavorings. The flavorings can be anything you like. Now, I put garlic and rosemary and some chopped onion and some stock powdery stuff in it, but you can use Vegemite. You could use mushrooms, dried mushrooms. Mushroom powder goes really well in gluten and flavors it up beautifully. You can do whatever you like. You could add whatever you liked to your seasoning. Again, I just kept it really simple with the bread and the herbs, but you could add chopped tomatoes. You could add dried fruit, apricots, or prunes. Go really well in a roasty type dish in the seasoning. Add some nuts, pine nuts, or pistachios. Too expensive, so don't, but they are nice, into your seasoning and change it up so that it can be whatever you want it to be. It is really simple. It takes time to cook, but again, I'm just sitting here chatting to you. I'm not actually doing anything while it's cooking, so it's like a real roast. Once it's in the oven or in your frying pan, it's done. You just have to keep an eye on it. So it works really, really well. Okay, now, oops, sorry. Don't want to make anyone sick. There we go. My hand out of the way. I'm still learning. These things should come with a remote. And I know I'm never happy. Never, never happy. So, alrighty. So there you go. That's a mock lamb roast. I will get the recipe into the recipe file, but it probably won't be until tomorrow morning. I was up very early. I was up from 1 till 4, 1 till 5 on Sunday. And yesterday I was up, I think from 3 till I just stayed up. I was up again early this morning, and I have to get up again early tomorrow morning for some meetings. So I'm tired. I'm surprised I'm still upright and speaking, and I hope I'm making sense. But I will get the recipe into the recipe file. It will go into the vegetarian recipe file as quickly as I can for you. If you give it a try, let me know what you think. And remember, let it rest once you've mixed it into the dough. Let it rest. You can let it rest for half an hour, whatever. Stretch it out so that it's about, half a centimetre or so thick, and then just roll it up. Take your time. Take your time. There's no rush. And it will work for you. Okay. Now, what do I normally do at the end? I normally say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. We have 81 people watching at the moment. That's just lovely. Thank you so much. Thumbs up lets YouTube know that you are actually watching, that you like what you see. And that means they go, well, people want to see this channel, and they just make it easier to find us. And that means that people that are searching for us on YouTube find us without having to scroll through 58 million other channels. There's also a share link if you think someone you know might like this video or to know about the Cheapskates Club. Just click on the link. It sends them the link. We don't do anything else. It's up to them then if they watch. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Then you won't miss a video if I upload one or we do another live. I haven't forgotten Lisa wants kitchen utensils, so I don't know what. I've got something planned for next week that was supposed to be not last week but the week before. I don't know. We got all out of whack because I swapped things around a bit, but I'll slot that in for you anyway. And if you keep up with Cheapskates Chatter, you'll know. If you're subscribed, you'll know. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed. Well, no, I'm not. I've got half an hour to wait for this. I might let Thomas do it, and then I can go to bed. I'll see you all next week. Have a great week, everyone. Remember, we're here to show you how to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing, and we do it happily the Cheapskates way. I'll see you later. Bye.